Charlie Kirk has been assassinated. For those that are just hearing this right now, Charlie Kirk was shot and killed at his event in Utah. And it's absolutely one of the most horrific things. We have this report from CNN. I was awaiting official confirmation. The first thing I want to say is Charlie is an absolute legend, and he was a good friend. I'm not going to pretend like we hung out this guy. I hung out this guy, knew him better than, my homies or whatever, but I just want to say, man, I've done a lot in business and in media. Charlie is a king. He was always super good to us. I don't even know if I should be doing a live stream on this, but Charlie was a very important, one of the most important people in this country, one of the hardest workers, one of the smartest guys. I can't believe that I'm looking at this article right now. I shouldn't be, but I figured it'd be important to make sure that you all knew that I did what I could. This is what I do, and I was torn a little bit. I'm a news and opinion guy, and when the story breaks, I have the video, I have the tweet. This is what I do. This is my job. And to have to do a job that affects me so personally like this, I thought maybe I should just not do anything. But Charlie was the best, and he was a good man, and he will always be remembered for that. And I just still can't believe it. Let me give you guys the news. Let me read for you what the reports are saying. Donald Trump has issued a statement on Charlie Kirk, and I'll tell you what I know, what I can tell you about on our end. I just want to say to his family, anything, anyone, any of you guys, whatever you need. CNN has reporting on this. Trump says conservative activist Charlie Kirk is dead. Rapid Response 47. A statement from Donald Trump. The great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead. No one understood or had the heart of the youth in the United States better than Charlie. He was loved and admired by all, especially me. And now he is no longer with us. Melania and my sympathies go out to his beautiful wife, Erica, and family. Charlie, we love you. At Charlie's event in Utah, he's a very large crowd, and he was speaking under a tent, as he normally does, as was so famously depicted in one of the most recent South Park episodes. That was the legend. That is the legend. That is Charlie Kirk. Shots rang out. It appeared in the initial videos. He was shot in the neck. That appears to be the case. Subsequently, more videos were published on X showing the severity. Reporting had circulated for the past hour or so that he was in critical but stable condition, with the AP making that statement. It is now being reported across the board that Charlie has not made it. And I can't believe it. Charlie was the best. TPUSA is the I don't know, the most prominent and important political organization that we have in this country, with many people saying that it rivals or even surpassed that of the RNC and what the GOP could even muster up. So I don't know if there's any official updates. The suspect in the shooting is not yet in custody, according to a spokesperson from Utah Valley University, despite the school saying earlier police did have someone in custody. Photos and video did emerge of a man being detained and held, but these are initial reports, and it's hard to know what exactly is true. I got a lot to say on this personally, of course, but I want to try and hold back on that because, with all due respect, I don't know. I want to make sure you guys just get as much of the big picture as you can. And then obviously, we here we do the news. We're constantly making phone calls. We have sources in the administration, and I had put out a few tweets. But let me give you a little bit more of these details. Trump previously praised Kirk as critical to his gains among young voters. The latest update being that Charlie Kirk has died. This appears to be the event he was speaking at. Broadcastify audio details Charlie Kirk shooting. They have, it appears to be, this is Utah County Public Safety broadcast. Statements. UVU by the sound reported one individual was shot, unknown where the shooter went. Let's be advised, UVU and Orem has an active shooter at the Charlie Kirk event. We're getting several calls. We're trying to get more information. The official continued. Are they requesting help? Another official asked. We're not sure yet. We're just trying to get units that way, the first official responded. Charlie was just doing what he did. I can't. There's videos, there's photos. This is the latest that we have on the matter. If you guys are hearing anything, please chat or super chat, and I'll try and read what you guys have to say. Just give you guys a glimpse of what the reporting looks like on our end, and I'll explain to you what was happening to me. I shouldn't say it like that. I'm not trying to in any way imply anything. I'm saying, like, we were doing the work, and there are questions around the information we get, when we can reveal it, and what we know. And I want to explain for you, I hope this helps clear up the state of events and the timeline for those that are curious. On my X, of course, let me just pull this up for you guys. Some people had stated, I had put out a tweet that they're reporting that he had died. I had previously, only minutes before, reported that he was stable. So I want to explain to you what's going on, and just here's my tweet from 27 minutes ago. Reports are that Charlie has died. There is no suspect in custody. TPUK had tweeted, Charlie is alive and fighting in the hospital. Please join us in praying for him. And I'll avoid the hyper-partisan stuff. AP reported that he was alive and in critical condition. And I have this tweet. Source tells me that Charlie is stable. So here's a timeline of events. We were having a business meeting. I think this was about 2 hours ago. In the vehicle, I received a phone call informing me of what had just immediately happened. And this was within probably a minute or so of the shooting. I began to take a look at what was going on and immediately started getting phone calls from people that we work with, our sources, our friends who work with TPUSA. And initially, you know, I don't want to tweet out too much. And I was informed by a high-level source that Charlie had been stabilized. And that is my tweet. Source tells me Charlie is stable. Please, God. I received a call from a trustworthy source who told me this. I want to believe, and I'm hoping. An individual who, I will just stress, wanted to remain off the record, or not off the record, but anonymous. And this is an individual, very top level, who informed me that Charlie was stable. And I asked them, can I post this? And they said yes. And so this seemed to be it was correct. Charlie was stable. I had gotten a phone call probably around the same time that Just the News had reported this, confirming to me that Charlie had died. And I just wanted to wait a little bit to make sure because I don't want to believe it. I can't believe it. I'm extremely angry. And I don't even have the right to be the angriest, of course. I can't believe this. I can't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe the phone calls. I couldn't believe what anybody was telling me. And the only thing I could believe was when they said that he was stable. As the only thing I could believe because I had to. And I received a phone call a little while ago informing me that Charlie didn't make it. There are some evil people, especially online right now. These videos, these outlets, and I feel like it's not real. Charlie was my friend. He was a good guy. He stuck his neck out for me and my team more than I can say anybody else. And it's not like we don't do a lot with TPUSA. And that's what meant so much to me. That for the past several years, I was just texting with the guy, man. They had me on stage. I have done a lot of business in this industry. I have met some of the sleaziest people you can imagine, and Charlie was the best. And I'm not just saying that. He brought us out to his event. He takes care of my crew. He gets us the production that we need, and we don't even ask. He invites me, a guy who I have publicly stated my political disagreements with Charlie Kirk, but the respect I have for his willingness to sit with me, to have conversations with me, to have debates. And I do think we agree on a lot of things, which is why it makes sense. And it's just amazing how accommodating, how easy, how generous. We got to be at his event, something he built. He started as a young man, working harder than anybody I can imagine to build up Turning Point and Turning Point Action and send a message and inspire young people and promote good and peace and morals. And I'm just some guy who complains on the internet. I've traveled around, I've done reporting, but he does the real hard work. He built a real machine that was fixing this country. And it still is. It still is. And I was lucky enough to be able to be a part of his event that he took care of us and my crew. There's a lot that I want to say that I'm not going to say, but I will say that I'll just paraphrase some of these posts. This is not just the assassination of a political leader. They killed our friend. Charlie would come down to your event and he would sit there at that table and you, literally anybody, could come up and he would talk to you. Left, right, up, down, top, down, whatever. I'm still sitting here thinking in the back of my mind, this is not correct. CNN's wrong. They're fake news. And I'm going to get a text in a moment saying, Tim, stop. Charlie's okay. Yeah. I'll take some of your guys' super chats if you guys want to add anything. Charlie, you're a legend. When Donald Trump got shot, I was at a poker room. I was at Potawatomi in Wisconsin. We were gearing up for the RNC. There was a local state rep. We're both sitting there. TVs are playing sporting events or something. I don't know, sports betting. And my phone blows up. This was just, I think, what was it, Sunday? I can't remember what day of the week it was, but we had just traveled into town. Our crew drove the equipment. We were doing a week at a hotel during the RNC because they were all spread out. And when Trump got shot, it was a shock and it was terrifying. And he was okay and he made it through. What happened to Charlie hit like a sack of bricks in my face. I guess it's just different, man. Everybody's saying war. Here's what I hope. No war. I don't want war. I don't want to learn more about my friends getting hurt. I don't want to see more videos of people I know, good people, getting hurt. We spend so much time talking about the rest of the world, Nepal, Ukraine. It doesn't hit close to home the way this does. So no, I don't want war. I don't want it. No, I want to order Buffalo Wild Wings and put on the game. I want to watch a baseball game with my friends and play some poker. $20, just you and the boys, you know what I mean? Having a good time hanging out. Play some cards. Skateboard. Maybe throw some disc golf with the boys. I don't want to have to worry about looking over my shoulder. What I will say is we're canceling our events for obvious reasons. I got to confer with the crew on exactly how this plays out and what this means. But my phone is on fire right now with security. It's at the highest level it could possibly be. And we had an upcoming event. I was going to be on the ground at a university doing much the same. I just want to stress. This is about Charlie. This is about the evil people in this world that he led the charge against. And they couldn't stand for it. The calling out of demons. MSNBC had a commentator who said, I should pull it up. I want to stress this as I pull up this clip. Temperatures need to remain leveled. Calm. Because this one is lighting people up. And I saw this clip, and I was told that Charlie, you see right before I posted, he was alive and in critical condition. And stable, alive, in critical condition still could be brain dead. And then I see this. But I want to say this before I play the clip for you guys. I am trying to be as strong as I can and committed to reason so that we do not react in the worst imaginable ways. No one should, and I hope they don't. This is a time to think of Charlie and his family, to send our thoughts and prayers and anything we can do to help him, his family, his friends, the people he works with. This is not a time for blind rage. But I do think it's appropriate to show this clip from MSNBC.
Then lead to hateful actions. And I think that's the environment we're in, that people just, you can't stop with these sort of awful thoughts you have and then saying these awful words and not expect awful actions to take place.
Matt,
and that's the unfortunate environment we're in.
Turning Point USA has confirmed that he was shot. And there are a number of...
Remarkable. Remarkably inappropriate, but that's what they think. That Charlie Kirk is hateful, so he should expect this to happen to him. I think it's in poor taste, but I'm going to be honest with you guys. Charlie did. He had the best security. That's why we couldn't believe it. How is it possible? So, MSNBC, far from the worst. I would just call this statement inappropriate at the time to disparage the work of Charlie Kirk at a moment so serious. And I will give a shout out, what deserving of a shout out they get to these liberals. I'm not going to just start naming everybody, but there's a handful of liberals, excuse me for wiping snot off my nose, a handful of liberals who have denounced this, who have called for justice, and I can respect that, and that's what we need, because we do not want this escalation. But I warn you, Reddit, Blue Sky, and even on X, the videos that are popping up, your blood won't just boil, it will turn to steam and burst from your ears. Man. I don't even know. Part of me didn't want to do anything. Do a stream, talk about it, tweet. make a video. I had tried making a video when it happened because I'm torn between making sure everybody knows. That's what I do. But also not wanting to be in the middle of whatever, is happening. Man. I saw a handful of video from prominent conservatives, everybody who knew Charlie, and everybody's crying. Men, you are allowed to cry when they kill Charlie Kirk. I will say that. I don't know what to say or do. I'll try and grab some of your super chats and try and talk about it, I guess. I'm torn because this is I stress it greatly personally affects so many more people than me. I mean, we're in the DC area. I don't live in Arizona. I don't regularly work at Turning Point or anything like that. But this is personal. That makes it difficult because I feel like I shouldn't be talking about it at all. This is for reporters and news anchors and to discuss, not for me. Maybe we'll hear from the people who worked closely with him. We'll get more information on this. So I'll pull up X right now and see if I can find any new updates of what we have. And just, people are calling out Gavin Newsom. Yeah, wow. We have a statement from Scott Jennings on CNN. Let me pull this in for you guys. Scott's always been great.
Now, Charlie and I work together. He's on the Salem radio network. He has the radio show that's on from noon to 2 each day. I'm on from 2 to 3, so I had just come on to do my show, and about halfway through it, we got the news that Charlie had been shot. And so I had to talk through it this afternoon. And I'll be honest with you, I am in utter disbelief at this. I sat in this room last summer, the night they shot the president, and now they shot Charlie. And I'm not sure it's safe to be an outspoken conservative walking around in America right now. And there's a lot of people out there who are in absolute shock and are horrified by this. And I don't know what's going to happen other than to tell you that this nation is in desperate need of prayer and some kind of an intervention. Because when you can't, what was Charlie doing? Making a speech, engaging in rhetoric, having a debate. That's the bedrock of our nation. And now you can't go out in public and engage in speech. It's the opposite of violence. Speech is the opposite. And so I don't know what's going to happen to Charlie. All I can really think about is his poor wife and those 2 babies. And so I think the best thing any of us can do right now is just pray for his recovery and pray for their comfort, because God help us, we're in a bad place.
Ben Shapiro has issued a statement. Ben says, like all of you, I am utterly stunned and heartbroken and sick to my soul today. It is unimaginable to write these words. I met Charlie when he was 18 years old. A young man, eager and determined, so eager and determined that I immediately turned to a friend and said, that kid is going to be the head of the RNC one day. Charlie became even bigger and more important than that. It was a privilege to watch this principled man stand up for his beliefs and create the single most important conservative political organization in America. But more importantly, Charlie was a good man, a man who believed in right and wrong, who stood by his biblical values. All of us will miss him, and I can't imagine the pain of his beautiful young family. And we must all pray for them. And we must pick up the baton where Charlie left it, fighting for things he believed in so passionately. And we must fight for a better America, an America where good people can speak truth and debate passionately without fear of a bullet. I weep for Charlie's family, and I weep for my country today. Most of all, I weep for Charlie. I should have brought tissues or something in here. I'm losing it. I do have it. I'm just checking out. I'm going through the news. We have just more news. Carl Benjamin says, remember that Charlie Kirk's entire career was focused around winning the debate in proper democratic fashion, and they still shot him. Will Kane, brother, shout out. You have a great show. I love watching your show, 4 p.m.s. And he had a moment of silence, and I could see it. I could see it in your eyes, brother, the same as I felt it in mine. This is a day of tremendous evil. Dave Portnoy, rip Charlie Kirk. It doesn't matter what your opinion is of Charlie or his politics. If you don't view this as one of the darkest days in American history, then you are part of the problem. Dave, shout out, man. Shout out to Barstool. I'm a big fan. Don't always agree with Dave. He's kind of a wild guy. But I appreciate it. There's a lot of videos in my feed right now of leftists celebrating, and I want you all to know, I think it's important that you guys know that this sentiment does exist. And I think you already know that. But I don't think it is healthy or good for us right now to sit here and surround ourselves by videos of demons and evil who will fill our hearts with rage. They seek to make us irrational beings. We must be purely rational and smart. Express your emotions, feel your emotions, and be a human. But the next move made by those of us who are fighting for the soul of this nation and for the betterment of humanity has to be correct, precise, appropriate, etc. And the last thing that will benefit this nation is any retaliation, violence, or otherwise. That being said, I'm talking about in a wanton physical context. Now, if you want to talk about divine retribution and retribution, earthly retribution, this can all be easily accomplished through the systems by which we are winning, the political infrastructure, and Charlie and the work that he did and the mountain that he built has empowered so many people to carry on and push towards this victory. Do not let them destabilize that. We'll read some more here. It's just, I'm not pulling up the X feed because there's a lot of really dark stuff on there. But I do want to, for the statements being issued by a lot of these high-profile people. Oh my God. It's hard to look at these MSNBC clips, guys. I can't believe this. I'm going to pull up this clip. I just can't.
People are really upset, and they start lashing out online, and they start blaming others for what led up to this. I mean, we see it when Democrats are targeted. We see it when Republicans are targeted, and we're seeing it with this. Anna Paulina Luna, who's a representative from Florida, has put this out on X. She's blaming the Democrats. She's blaming the rhetoric the Democrats use calling Republicans fascist. She's saying you are the hate. If you're in the FBI field office and you see this sort of stuff bubbling up online, how worried do you get about somebody taking up the cause of Charlie Kirk and lashing out on somebody who's seen as a Democrat or somebody who is a Democrat?
Taking up the cause of Charlie Kirk? To set up a table and ask you to come and have a conversation with me? How do we survive as a nation in something like this, with something like this? I tell you, we will be better men. We will be reasoned. We will be rational, and we will guide our anger through the appropriate means, the calm and collected, and we will remember and we will know what Charlie Kirk fought for and why we will pick up that, all of us, each and every one, his cause. But it is terrifying to me that I have talked about this. You have talked about this. Charlie has talked about this. There are angry people that care not for reason or solutions. They seem to just act towards destruction. And we fight every day to plead with them, to not be destructive. I had a conversation earlier about racial violence in this country, how we work towards solving it, why people hold these views. And every day, as this urban moderate liberal, they scream and they lie. They call me racist and white supremacist. And I'm sitting here being like, I want the black community in this country to flourish, to be wealthy and successful with smiles on their faces. But I look across the political battlefield and it's this. Trump got shot. He was almost shot again. There was a third plot. That guy didn't get close. I just can't. I don't know how to even say it. It's like, I was just texting with the guy. It's the weirdest thing. I've talked quite a bit recently about, where I come from on the South Side, and it's crazy to hear when people, lose their lives. But this just doesn't seem real or possible. Let me grab some of what you guys have to say, and I want to, if you guys are seeing updates or any other information. Cade Gable says, is this the tipping point towards civil war, in your opinion? I was getting asked that right away. Seriously. And it's because the meme is Tim Pool talks about civil war all the time. Maybe. I actually talk about it when it's in the news. Like I talk about anything that's in the news. Nobody calls me the World War III guy. You know what I mean? Nobody makes memes about me saying World War III. Every time something happens and the media says World War III, I roll my eyes and I'm like, I get it. Putin is saying it. Maduro is saying it. I had a friend of mine said to me, is there going to be a war? Like because Charlie is the leader of the most prominent political organization in the country. It's actually it's more than one. It's Turning Point USA. It's Turning Point Action. There's Turning Point UK. And this is my friend. He's not very political. And I said, this is what war looks like. I'm not saying it's a war. I don't want it to be. I don't want to have to explain to my wife why we have to deal with things like this. None of you do. But I've explained this, and so to all of you who have, you watch my content all day, every day, or periodically, I've explained this. War does not look like a movie. It is not men in uniforms marching on the battlefront towards each other. You want to know what war looks like? You walk out and you go downtown to go shopping, and you're on Main Street, and there's restaurants and shops all around you, and that's it. And then there's a bang, 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 bang. You don't know where it's coming from. You don't know who's doing it. And you fall down. After a little while, people get up. They start fleeing the area. That's it. What happened? We don't know. That kind of thing happens every day when you are in a war. War it is not like this moment where two parties meet together and say, all right, gentlemen, is this the beginning of war? Oh, so be it. There's videos out of Syria during the Civil War, and probably still to this day, where people are walking past buildings riddled with bullet holes to go buy groceries. When does it become civil war? Honestly, I have no idea. But they just assassinated Charlie Kirk. I got a call from a friend who they said to me, when they went for Trump, it was different. We know it was serious and we were scared. But now they killed our friend. They killed our friend. And he's not signing laws. He's not a judge. He's not a member of Congress. You don't want war. I don't want war. I want it all to stop. I want Charlie to have been able to have just sat there and talked to people like he always did, for you to do the same, for me to do the same. So let me just give you the details on what we're doing right now. We've had public events planned. My team's saying absolutely not. We can't secure them. And we've known that risk the whole time, and I've talked about it the whole time. Charlie was 100 times bigger than me. We have an event set up in 1 month at a university, canceled. We are right now finalizing public venue events. I can't do it. I'm going to be honest, I can't do it. I had people ask me, you can't let them win and shut these things down by doing this. That's true. You can't. But there's also just, if you can't secure it, what do we do? So it's tough. There's two trains of thought on this one. Because I debated it. I said, let's see where this goes. Maybe it, I don't know. Some told me you absolutely cannot cancel events because of this. This is their goal. It's what they want. I agree completely, 100%. Bring it on. I'm not going to back down. The response to which is, you do a show every single night. You do multiple segments in the morning and a live show at noon that is secure and safe and reaches millions of people every single day. Do not throw that away so that you can go stand in public and say the same thing. I don't know. What does this mean for everybody? It was Trump last year more than once. Now it's Charlie. I just, reality just hasn't sunk in. I got to be honest. I just don't believe it. It's Ezra Klein has a tweet. I'm going to pull it up for you guys. He says, in the last few years, we've seen the plot to kidnap Gretchen Whitmer, the storming of the Capitol and pipe bombs left at the RNC and DNC, the break-in to kidnap Nancy Pelosi and the brutal attack on Paul Pelosi, multiple assassination attempts against Trump, the assassination of Minnesota House Speaker Melissa Hortman and her husband, and the shooting of State Senator John Hoffman and his wife, Luigi Mangione's assassination of Brian Thompson, and the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Political violence is contagious. It is spreading. It is not confined to one side or belief system. It should terrify us all. The foundation of a free society is the ability to participate in it without fear of violence. Political violence is always an attack against us. You have to be so blind not to see that. And he's right. I know that for us, we can sit here and talk about the nitty-gritty of the Gretchen Whitmer case or the Pelosi thing. I'm not going to. I understand the point he's making. But I'm going to say it. Charlie Kirk's everything he built, it is a skyscraper. It is a castle before us with the foundation of talk to me. They said no. On Blue Sky, they are celebrating. They are posting videos on TikTok, Blue Sky and X, celebrating because Charlie said, talk to me. Ezra's not wrong. Ezra's not wrong. Let's grab some more. Mad Lib says this will be the turning point in the USA. I see what you did there, buddy, and I don't disagree. Charlie was a good man. I don't want to say the word was. I want to say this again. I'm an asshole a lot. When I do business, I have a short fuse. I have had business calls where they try and play this game of negotiating this, that, or otherwise, and I am just a dick. And I can tell you a lot of people who do business with me, they're probably like, if Tim says one, he means one. It's over. So I've had business meetings where people try to pull fast one, slip a contract through, and the contract's got hidden clauses. I go nuclear. I had one business arrangement. We never did a deal, a syndication thing, distribution and ad sales. And they tried claiming ownership in a tiny little clause at the bottom. I had one contract where it said, in one provision, it also said, see addendum D. And I read it. I said, where's addendum D? And they said, oh, we'll send it to you. Addendum D had a whole bunch of BS to rip me off. Then there's Charlie Kirk, who's like, we're going to take care of you. We're going to get you whatever you need. We're going to take care of your team. We're going to have you on stage. Don't worry a thing about it. I didn't have to work any weird deals. Phone call. Charlie personally tells me, we got you. Appreciate everything you do. I'm like, wow, this is I've never felt. I show up to Turning Point, and they've got these big screens with my face all over it. And I'm like, well, this is crazy. I didn't even give Charlie anything. I've had so many people try to take from me. Then there's Charlie, who gave everything without asking. We went to Arizona, and you guys might remember this. We did our show in his studio, Charlie's studio. I said, we're going to have to find a way to do the studio. Take my studio, brother. It's yours. For real? He's like, we'll set you up. Everything you want. We'll even get a production crew for you. I was like, whoa, really? He's like, you can use my studio. It's all yours. I was like, okay, cool. Wow. It's kind of wild because I never felt more famous. I'm like being treated like a king by this guy. What did I do? Everybody else says, yeah, it's going to be 10 grand for this, 3 grand for that. And we usually say, okay, we're like, we get it. We do a show and it's like, we're going to get a stage set up for you. We'll help you find it, but here's the cost. And that's okay. Charlie was like, we got a studio you can use. He built us a studio. He let us use his personal studio. When we had Kyle Rittenhouse on, they built us a temporary studio. They gave us a half moon table with big screens behind us. They set it up in their office, said, this is for you. We're going to get you access. We'll have someone on staff for you. I'd have to give him anything. And that's why he's a legend, so successful, because he worked really, really hard. He built and built and built. And that's why this one is just, Trump's Trump. Trump's great. When they tried taking his life, I was pissed. It's shocking. Charlie was my friend. All right, let's see if we got any more tweets circulating just to get the latest updates. And we're going to be live at 8 p.m. for Timcast IRL with more updates, of course. Yeah. It's kind of wild that we're coming off of, we're still in this news cycle of the assassination, the killing of Irina Zarutska. And Charlie had just spoken out against it. And is that it? Charlie had a tweet with like, I don't know, millions upon millions of views where he was saying like, just the other day, Van Jones called Charlie a race monger. In the George Floyd killing, there's no indication of a race-based motivation. By all means, you're entitled to your opinion that it was, but it was a police stop. Chauvin shut up after Floyd was already detained, and they told us for years it was racist, white supremacist, and there were riots over it. This woman is killed on a train, and Charlie says, why won't they cover this? Because it doesn't fit their narrative. But if the races were inverted, you know there would be national outrage. He's correct. Van Jones says he's a race monger. A race hatred monger. There's videos. I was sitting down to eat, and this is the middle of this story, and we don't know exactly what's going on. And I've been getting phone calls, and I was told that Charlie was stable. I get a call from a friend who says, "There's no way he's gonna make it." And no, bro. There's no look. We don't know that for sure. Here's what I'm being told. And that's when he sent me the up close video. And I didn't believe him. I'm sitting there with my friends. We're supposed to have a business meeting. We were sitting down to have a discussion about equipment, set design. And I opened my phone and I saw that still image, man. And I threw my phone down and I just started crying. Because I knew the moment I saw it. I didn't want to believe it. And so I called everybody I could to tell me that it was not true and that he was going to be okay. Let's grab some more from you guys. Kick Rock says, it wasn't just the youth. I'm 34 and he brought me to Christ. Charlie was the good in all of us. Rip Charlie Kirk. I just don't understand. Charlie was the nicest guy ever. He was strong. He was committed. He wouldn't be pushed around. He was generous. And that's why he succeeded. That's why he inspired so many people. He was funny. He's not a perfect guy. There's just this, there's evil, man. Evil people. I fear escalation every day. We moved from, I was in the New York area, moved to Jersey, the Jersey side of the river, moved to the southern New York metro area, moved to southern Jersey, moved to Maryland, moved to West Virginia. And every time we do, it's because we're trying to get away from the conflict and the crisis, because it is escalating. Donald Trump wants to send in the National Guard and secure things, and that is not a good sign. I agree with it, but it's not a good sign that we have to do that. I fear the escalation, and I talk about it, and I think maybe you guys, you understand what I'm saying when I say it. Some people lie about the points I'm making, but let me put it like this. Our culture is completely split. Even our language is different. Racist and white supremacists don't mean the same thing on the left as they do on the right. The left celebrates the death of people on the right, and the right begs the left to stop doing bad things. Now, don't get me wrong. There are people on the right who are evil and bad, and there are people on the left who are good. That's true. The point I'm making is there is a bifurcation in this country that cannot be mended, and generationally will get worse. So if you look at the 90s and you look at the political overlap that we see from Pew Research, the boomer generation in their 30s coming into control of industry and power largely agreed politically. There were some deviations, but it's a big overlap. The Venn diagram, it's a big overlap. Today, completely split. What does that mean? It's by generation. When polled, silent generation say civil war is impossible. Boomers say unlikely, laughable. Gen X says maybe, but probably not. Millennials say we kind of think so. And Gen Z says it's coming. But let me put that in numbers. The polls show that silent generation usually, when asked about the potential for civil war, gives it like a 5% chance. Boomers give it like a 10% chance. Gen Xers give it like a 20% chance. Millennials give it like a 30 to 40% chance. And Gen Z has it at like 50 or higher. Every generation that is born after the split is separated from the other side. This means that you will get MSNBC or MS Now, CNN or otherwise, saying Charlie was an evil, racist, white supremacist hate monger, and his hatred, he should expect what happened to him. That's what the guy said. If you were going to say these hateful things, then you shouldn't be surprised when these things happen back to you. Logically, it's not that wrong, right? If you call out evil, demons will come for you. I think in this context, it was inappropriate and it was disgusting. But that's the point. What will the right say and how will they respond? No sane person is going to sit there and accept this is our reality. There's going to be calls for action. Something has to stop this, and how do you? Somebody assassinated Charlie Kirk. You know what hurt the most? I shouldn't say it like that because I don't think it adequately expresses what I'm feeling. Losing Charlie, sitting there not knowing, but it was terrifying and painful that with everything I have, everything, there's nothing I can do. It's really easy to throw a wrench into spokes, into gears, and to break a machine. It is really hard to build it. Charlie spent nearly 2 decades building a castle, building an empire, building a machine that would make this world, this country better. And it is. And it is. And they won't stop it. Turning Point won't let them. We won't let them. We'll grab some more of your chats. Taylor Ivy says, Tim, the left doesn't understand this, but Charlie Kirk was unkillable. He had something the left has forgotten. He had legacy. The left embrace the crazy or finally denounce it. That will determine the future, I think. The gloves are off. I'm not going to sit there and be nice to these leftists when they try and play these stupid games. I saw a tweet. It said the moderate right has just ceased to exist. Because that's what Charlie was. He was a moderate. They want to tell you he's an extremist. Charlie's a run-of-the-mill conservative who believed that he had good morals, conservative values, hard work ethic. But that was too much for them. How many of us are going to be willing to sit by and just let them do this? So what I mean to say is this. Law and order now. This is unacceptable. We got to be cognizant of escalation. That's the terrifying thing. I fear it's unavoidable. Phil and I have been saying it on IRL. Where's the off-ramp? I don't know what there's what could possibly go through the mind of these leftists to think that this is acceptable. But we all know. They celebrated the killing of Brian Thompson. I don't care for these healthcare companies, man. I don't like the insurance system. I personally am in favor of a basic universal healthcare system. Let me explain. That means a certain degree of taxpayer-funded coverage. Oh, I know. Look at me. I'm a lefty, right? And they murdered a man because of the company he was the CEO of. Hey, man, by all means, I know all the bad stories, but this is not the way you do it. And on The Daily Show, Jordan Klepper brought it up, the terror attacks on Tesla, and they cheered for it because of Elon. On social media, they celebrated what Mangione did. They painted him out like a saint. And we said, this is telling people to kill. And I can't believe we're here today. I'm going to let you guys in on a secret. Not a big secret. Charlie didn't believe this would happen to him. And none of us did either. If Charlie, I, or anybody else believed that if we walked into that space, we would die, we wouldn't do it. Now, there's always a chance, I get that. But none of us believed this was possible. It's still hard to believe. Where do we go from here, guys? Holy Savage Angel says Trump ordered flags to be half-staffed for him. American M says, Tim, I hope you're doing okay. This is a sad, sad day. I'm so sad and angry. I saw the video and I'm just angry. Immediately, like the security contractors we work with reached out to us. Everything is highest possible alert. And it's kind of crazy. We had Wade Miller on, and he's a vet. He did combat, and he said, you know, when you're out there in Iraq, you get complacent after a couple of weeks, right? You're standing around doing nothing for so long that finally when something happens, it catch you off guard. You stop looking around corners, for instance. You don't expect it. And this is kind of how we operate. I mean, I was just saying the other day, like, man, it's so chill. Did we win? I should have listened to my own advice. The left won't just accept that we are winning politically. Charlie was the king of the debate. He won every time. He won so much, thousands would crowd around to hear him. He was quick-witted. He was smart. He was right. They couldn't tolerate it. And I feel stupid for thinking in the past month that we may have won. You know, it's reading the words. Feels fake. The hardest thing, there's a video on X. Everybody I know, when they call me with updates, I'm just crying. Attila says, I never got to meet him personally, but I'm legit sad by this. Videos like his and Jordan Peterson helped give me introspection of myself and helped with my depression. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. Man. Lionheart says, this can't go unanswered. FBI needs to step up and go after people who call for this stuff. They celebrate it. They celebrate it online. They advocate for it. They play games. 86-47. People came out and they were like, look at the conservative who said 86-46. And I'm like, all of it's bad. Don't do any of it. Let's just chill out. It's not a game, man. Clint Torres says, Charlie was doing the Lord's work. A great guy and kept the dialogue open. We should all strive to be like Charlie and take up the torch, continue his work, and strive to complete his mission. God's will be done. We have an autographed Charlie Kirk poster in our studio. The legend. He was... You know, it's kind of a trope when people eulogize or they talk about someone who passed. It's only ever the best things imaginable. I have nothing but good things to say about Charlie Kirk. I got some funny things to say. I don't think he liked Ian very much. Seemed to be very frustrated by that lunatic. But it's like every time I saw him, there was nothing but good news. He's amazing. I texted him recently. I was just texting with him. Hit him up. What do we do? Our security now is, we have security. We have armed guards. We've got barriers. We get threats, all that stuff. And now it's like high alert. And the reason I brought up the Iraq thing was because it's basically like, you know, I just walk around. You know what I mean? When I go to the city, I just walk around. I don't have bodyguards. We try to bring some friends just because, but I'm like, nothing's gonna happen, right? And probably not. Like who am I? You know what I mean? Everybody is on high alert. Cranked up to 11. Every personality in the space is sitting down with their security teams right now. everybody who's been in the space and dealt with death threats is having a quick, few minutes to go over everything with local law enforcement as they do. We do it. Our security does it. And we've already, everyone, this is an escalation to an insane degree. This is one of the most devastating assassinations in American history and of our lives. Charlie was 31 years old. We'll be live tonight at 8 p.m., but I imagine it'll be similar. I don't know how to, Did you guys know Charlie was going to debate Hassan Piker in 2 weeks? At least that's what the reporting is. And all these leftists are celebrating it. And Hassan has been just absolutely slamming them. I don't know exactly what he said. But what I've heard is that he's been heavily criticizing them, saying, stop celebrating this, stop. Because the same will happen to me. We don't want this. Sam Hyde's a really funny guy. I think he's really funny, actually. But he did that event at the boxing match where he said he was going to kill Hassan Piker. And they were like, you're joking. He's like, not a joke. In real life, at his house. I'm not okay with it. And I get people coming to me every day being like, oh, come on, Tim. Sam's joking. Guys, I understand. Sam Hyde is a really funny guy. He's really smart. We have mutual friends. But I'm like, dude, listen, that's not okay. Because there are people who like Hassan who see that. And then they go, guys, they're planning on killing us. And it's sure it's a joke. But bro, when you say, no, it's not a joke, you're going to do it, then what do you expect people to believe? So I'm not trying to come down on Sam. I'm just saying. This is why I'm like, there's a line. And, I don't know exactly what Hassan is saying. The dude has said some bad things. But I'm going to try and, to the liberals that are coming out and condemning the violence and calling for it to stop, it's a good thing. I don't want to fight anybody. Rocksmith says, you need to be careful going forward, Tim. There's no limit with evil people. You're correct. So right now the issue is this. We've got these live events planned. Live audience. Security assessment right now is, not going to happen. What should I do? What should I do? Again, Charlie's 100 times bigger than I am. He's the guy. I'm just a guy at his event. Many, many more, much, much bigger and more prominent than I. But the general assessment is shut it down. Talking to a buddy of mine who's planning a bunch of these events, saying, like, is this it for us? Because we were going to do an event at a university. Maybe it is. What do you say, So Duke says 2 shots rang out, Tim. There was a second gunman on the roof across from Charlie. That is what I've heard from some military commentary. The shot appears to come from a slightly elevated position, coming from his right side. I can't believe it, man. What is this? Alarinel says, ramp up your protection, Tim, and also encourage people who think they don't need it, like Asmongold. They don't understand how important their message is or how evil these people are. Take care of yourself. Everybody in the space. Body armor. Proper weapons training. First aid training. Get it done. Bug out bag. get it done. And not because we think war has erupted, but because sometimes criminals have guns. Sometimes bad storms hit and you need food. Me, I'm decked out. Largely because I'm just a nut. You know what I mean? The gag is I pulled a war machine from Iron Man. I went to the local gun store. This is actually a true story. And I walked in. It wasn't that big of a gun store. It's maybe only like 100 square. It's pretty small. 150 square feet in the room. And I looked around and I went, I'll take it. And they were like, which one? I was like, all of it. And they laughed. And they were like, okay. I'm like, no, I'm kidding. Like, let's go. I think I bought like 50 guns. Bro, I'm in West Virginia. I get death threats all the time. We had the bomb squad come out to our studio several times. We've had crazy people show up saying they were sent by God. And I'm like, each different gun for a different circumstance. Because I can. Nobody should come here. Do not come here. People don't get the message. Especially now. Do not come here. All right, let's see what we have here. This is a news update. Let's see. Looked like there was an update, but YouTube just jumped on me. This is what it does. An update from Fox News. Blah says, Tim, I just saw a headline on Fox saying the shooter has not been put in custody. Yeah. Let me check my messages because I've not been looking at this, but phone's blowing up. Got a bunch of messages. Maybe we have some private updates. I can just say this. You know, we do a lot of work with a bunch of different companies as well as people in politics, Congress, the executive branch. So we're in communication with a lot of people. And I'll just check my messages and maybe there's something I can report. I don't know. My messages are blowing up. Yeah. Charlie. Man. These posts are just absolutely disgusting. Holly Movie Star says, Tim, casino auditoriums. You're right, but they're very expensive. Casinos have intense security, depending on which casino you go to. They have these scanning machines that when you walk in, like MGM and Maryland Live is a good example. When you walk in, they have these machines you walk through, and then a computer, AI, will say if you're strapped or not. And they got cameras everywhere. They're not so much worried about you getting shot, although they don't want you to get shot. They're concerned about you cheating or someone cheating with you. Casinos are a possibility, but they're very, very, very expensive. I think we looked at one. I think Maryland Live maybe was like between 20 and 50 grand. We can't afford that. I mean, if we have to sell tickets at $150 plus get sponsors to make that happen. I'm going to wrap this up. I just want to say a few things. Charlie, you will be missed more than I think most people realize. My thoughts and prayers to Charlie's family, his friends, and those around him. I'm nowhere near the top of the list of people who have a right to be, personally outraged or anything like that. I didn't hang out with the guy. We didn't play golf together or anything, but he was my friend. And he took care of me and my crew, and he was nice to us. And he treated us like we were worthy. He treated us like, when we go to his events, it was like we were the stars of the show. I know we're not. Tucker Carlson's speaking. Come on. We got to have Charlie Kirk and Tucker Carlson on Timcast IRL on the stage at TPUSA, and he made you feel like you were special. We were here for you, but we were all there for him. And it means so much to me. And it meant so much to me the whole time that I was always just had this feeling like I am so grateful to get to be a part of this thing that he had built. And someone evil took this man from us. So my thoughts and my prayers to his family. And I just hope everybody keeps it cool. And I appreciate you guys coming in and watching this. And I apologize if in any way it, obviously I'm talking about myself a little bit. That's why I'm like, I don't want to do a video like this. But I think it's probably irresponsible not to at least talk about what's happening behind the scenes a little bit and how we feel about this and why it was so important that we talk about Charlie and his work. It feels like it's not real. It feels like a nightmare. I feel like I'm going to wake up in 5 minutes. I can't believe this, man. My friends, thank you all so much for hanging out with me. And we'll have more updates. 8 o'clock, we'll be live with Timcast IRL like we always do. I really do appreciate you guys hanging out. We'll see y'all tonight.